Hi, Sick and Seeking family. I wanted to hop on here today to tell you about my call with the naturopath. So, I've decided to go down the path of working with a naturopath. Now, I see a lot of medical doctors, conventional medicine, and it's interesting because I wouldn't have called them conventional medicine until fairly recently. Um, so I have a whole laundry list of doctors. I have an endocrinologist, I have an allergist, I have a dermatologist, I have a nephrologist, I have some more ologists, I'm sure, and I'm just leaving them out. So I've decided I wanted to do something different for my health and my well being. So I contacted two naturopaths, and this has been a long time coming. This was not like, this is the answer, and I'm so ready for it. No, no, this has taken 20 years. Um, Maybe you listen to my podcast episode and my introduction where I talk about how, if I'm being really honest, I kind of judged. I still maybe do a little bit judge naturopaths. I judge people who weren't like scientific and like given the MD status. And it's taken me a really long time to get to this point and be really open to working with one. I had to come to some really, you know, real honest truths about myself, in that I was starting to look at the fact that I was afraid of taking supplements. I was afraid of taking more natural remedies. And I trusted slash trust slash, I don't know where I am with this sort of right now, pharmaceuticals. And I'm starting to have a huge paradigm shift where I'm like, wait a second, maybe I got it backwards. I know pharmaceuticals and medicines, there's a lot of science behind them. They do a lot of good. They're very helpful. And I still need them in probably some capacity. However, I'm at a point in my life where I want to minimize, because it feels like every year I'm just adding another pill, and it's really demoralizing. And I've opened myself up to information and communities of people who are showing me that there could be another way. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to throw out all my pharmaceuticals and all my meds right away. However, I do have the goal that I am trying to lessen the ones that I can. I'm curious to know if there are alternative, complementary, more natural derivatives of things that I can take. And yeah, I came to this sort of like aha moment through different communities and groups that I've been working with. One was that, this is just my personal opinion. People can feel differently. I'm just sharing with you my journey, in that I'm starting to realize the sort of hubris that humans have, that we're like, we are so smart and like sophisticated, and we have evolved, and we are scientifically advanced and all the things. And we are. But in many ways, I feel that we have discounted the natural intelligence of plants. I said the word plants. That's what I'm saying. Those guys have been here way longer than we ever have. And so, yes, we can dissect them and scientifically sort of understand, but there's that little je ne sais quoi magical element that I just believe we will never quite understand. That, when we take these pharmaceuticals, my thought is that we've gotten maybe a little too far away from the natural element, or the thing that we're trying to replicate in nature. And in many ways, that's incredible that science has helped us do that. Great. However, I'm curious about getting back to the natural version, the closer to nature supplement. And I am not saying that everything in nature is safe and you should just like take it willy nilly. So that brings me to where I'm at. That's the whole point of wanting to work with a naturopath. I was looking for an integrative medical doctor or functional medical doctor. And I'm going to be honest, I was getting a little confused about all those terms. So if that is you, I'm right there with you. And I happened to just find a naturopath here in Pasadena, and I wanted to share with you, long story short, sort of what happened. I wrote down some notes, and first off, I love that he listened. That was great. He wasn't just telling me who he was and his knowledge and the things. So I need someone who's going to listen, because I have a really complicated health history. And I was finding recently that if I wanted to start making changes, I didn't know where to start. So I need a partner. Like, I need someone who I can work in partnership with. So I told him that. I told him that I have a complicated health history. There's a lot going on, and I need someone who can help work with me. And these are some of the things he came back with that made me feel like, hey, this is a person I want to get started with. So, one, he listened. Two, when I told him my laundry list of all the things that has gone wrong or weird or funky in my body, I wrote down, he said the words, this is all in his wheelhouse. And granted, his website is not going to say everything, but there was never any mention of kidneys. And I was like, I need to know that you know about kidneys. Like, that's my primary one here. He talked about how we're going to use my most recent labs. We're going to maybe do some other types of testing as well, which I'm like totally on board with. We're going to look at the nutritional deficiencies and imbalances. And then, we're going to start with the 1 hour visit. And, it's going to take time how we work together, et cetera, et cetera. But the one thing that really got me that I wanted to share about today that was like, wow, sorry, I'm like hitting stuff. I talk with my hands is that I've talked to 2 naturopaths in the past week. Never reached out to a naturopath. Only been working with conventional medical doctors. And in this past week, this is big for me. In this past week, I have had 2 naturopaths, not guarantee, but they have suggested that there are ways and things that we can do together to raise my kidney function. I've never had a nephrologist tell me that in the past 20 years. Not one time. Just gonna like presence that for a moment because I got really emotional after I got told that by both of them. And yeah, and he didn't really have time this time around to tell me why. And I'm really looking forward to sort of getting more into that with him. But, one of the reasons is they're just not trained. The conventional medical doctors have 15 minutes with you. Like, they don't have time. And plus, these doctors, like my nephrologist, is just looking at one piece of me. So, like, he's not going to look at holistically the whole system. He might a little bit if he, like, knows my case and et cetera, et cetera. But, yeah, it's never happened. So I'm just sharing with you my experience, this huge sort of paradigm shift I'm going through, and wanting to share with you where I am with my naturopath. So now I have to get ready for the naturopath visit next week, collect all my labs. There's probably a giant questionnaire, which if you are like me and have the health things, that alone is daunting. Like, you're just like, hi, I have to fill out this form and it's going to take me an hour to tell you everything about my health history. So here we are. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. This is going to take many months. This isn't like we meet and things change right away. It's a lot of testing, manipulating, changing, shifting, seeing what works. And also my body will be changing alongside all of these changes. And I loved one other thing he said. He said, I'm going to give you my recommendations on what you should try. And he said, you don't have to take them, but I'm going to recommend, X, Y, or Z. So, anyway, keep you posted. Maybe this can help you too. And thanks for listening.